So I was rooting around over at Godlike Productions, and someone had an interesting post over there. A little bit of QAnon tied into this and that, and the title of this thing is Bush Death. You heard about Papa Bush. Papa Bush is no longer with us apparently. Dick Algar remote viewed that. I believe it was Dick last month. Papa Bush won't be alone very much longer. Get ready to hear about his death. Um, Chalk another one up for the remote viewers. Crazy how accurate they've been recently. But this guy's title here was Bush Death Time Convenient for Deep State? Where's the focus now? No more D5, or is it still on? Now, we're talking about D5. QAnon had posted something about D5. No one knows what that means. Does it mean December 5th or what? Someone else said, well, D, A, B, C, D is 4, and 5 would be 45. Trump is the 45th president. Although personally, I think it's December 5th. Is what the Q thing is. Anyways, what he says, here's my thoughts. This is this guy's thoughts. Who benefits from Bush's timely departure? Did he take one for the benefit of the team? Huber was set to testify again when? Got rescheduled to December 5th, right? D5. Comey wants to delay his hearing to after January 1st, 2019. Why is that? Flake would not vote unless Bill voted on to protect Mueller. Why is that? Mueller flips Cohen to have new thread to prolong investigation, so Whitaker can't push for a wrap-up. Cohen takes a plea deal to stall for more time for Dems to get seated, Democrats to get seated in the House come January. Trump executive order for voter fraud in findings to wrap up 12/21/2018. Possible red wave landing to stop impeachment investigations. Timing before 1/1/2019. Media complicit with deep state. Distract, dumb down, followed long enough that when D5 starts, nothing can stop it. Again, I'm assuming December 5th. But they can distract people long enough to make the avalanche look like Trump's retaliatory actions to House controlled by the Dems, until it's not if report reveals fraud and thus overturns election results. Spin it to create same narrative against Trump if Mueller is fired. Need distraction? False flag? Not too much real-world tension right now. G20, China, new NAFTA agreement, Syria chemical weapons use, Russia aggression, Paris riots, caravan. Need to distract with an emotional issue to bring people together. When D5 is exposed midstream due to constant Bush death coverage, those united will rebel against Trump. Media will black out all actions against deep state, then spin it against Trump after the continuous coverage has grown old. Papa Bush, I guess, you got to go in. In order to take, you got to go in order for your dream to live. Live and your dream dies. Die and the deep state still has a fighting chance. Oh, bummer visit message, meaning Obama visit message. But the boss hits back with new message to deep state. Day of mourning, not for evil Bush, but for deep state. Nothing can stop D5, not even a timely death. Official date of mourning is declared December 5th. Also, Mark Taylor, you hear that guy, he's like a prophet, right? Saw 2 presidents dying before the other 3 were incarcerated. Possible it was Bush. Bush was thereby thinking 2 presidents die first, then jail time. Barbara and George deaths? 2 big presidential death ceremonies, one right after the other? If so, let the jail key start to rattle. Q haters, your red karma shows your intolerance and closed-mindedness. Remember, the truth is hard to accept, so lash out if you must. I am an Alaskan. You can shake me, but you can't break me. I'll just send the reverberations back to you. We like to trigger and share. So that was this guy's name. His name was All Things, all things, meaning question all things. And also, Q, from what I understand, stands for question all things. Or question, what was it? Question something. Q is what the Q is for, question something. I forgot the full phrase or whatever. Question the narrative or, whatever. So I thought that was interesting, but again, Mark Taylor. 2 presidents dying before the other 3 were incarcerated. Now I'm thinking Carter, Jimmy Carter. He's an old son of a gun, right? Carter's an old son of a gun. Let me just look at how old is he? Jimmy Carter. Let's scrap out of here. Born 1924. Wow. I mean, hell, he's gonna be 100 in a few more short years. He'll be 100. So he's old, just like Papa Bush. 2 presidents die, huh? I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's immediately what came to my head. Oh, Carter. He's an older one. Not George Bush Jr. Not Jr. Dodo Bird. Not him. He's too young, right? Obama, definitely too young. Well, Bill Clinton, again, not exactly ultra. He doesn't look real good. Oh, look, that got me an email from Dick Algar. Let me send a little reply. 6:30 p.m. Monday, which is Eastern time. That'll work for me. I originally told him, hey, I'm home at 5. I can go do the video at 5. Speaking of some hits, remote viewing stuff. So that was just it's very interesting. Mark Taylor, presidents arrested. Let's see what that comes up with. October 3rd, 2018, Mark Taylor, prophecy. That's 2017. I'm just trying to see if I can find a little summary on what he had said. Mark Taylor, that is. This is posted January 12th, 2018, by the way. Earlier this week, self-proclaimed firefighter prophet and right-wing conspiracy theorist Mark Taylor appeared on the Faith Talk program where he predicted that President Trump has already taken the steps necessary to prepare for a wave of arrests of thousands of satanic pedophiles in the month of February, which certainly didn't happen in February. Taylor called on the army of God to pray that there would be no civil unrest when they start rounding up these people so that divine justice will be served. Quote, they're fixing to, I believe, drop the hammer on a lot of these people, and they're going to start rounding these guys up, he said. I think a lot of this stuff, from what I'm hearing in the natural or seeing in the natural, like the military presence, stuff like that, a lot of this stuff is going to start to go down in the month of February. So we're only a couple of weeks away from when the big stuff might begin to happen. If they do pick the month of February to start rounding people up, that is usually the coldest month of the year for the entire country, so that will keep a lot of people off the streets, if you know what I mean. Taylor went on to claim that an executive order that Trump signed last month gives him the power to seize the assets of anyone involved in human rights abuses. This, he said, will be used to target the Clintons, the Obamas, and George Soros in order to prevent them from being able to pay groups like Antifa or Black Lives Matter to protest to the wave of arrests. He now has the power to go in and seize this money and grab it, Taylor said. So these people like Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these guys are not going to protest if they're not getting paid. So if the funds are already drying up and they're already seizing the money, then the money is not going to be there to pay these protesters. So that is one way that God is working behind the scenes. All right, so that's the one thing. I want to find out, because he'd mentioned the arrest of these presidents. See if I can find it real quick. I'll just pause this for a second. Well, there's quite a bit of interesting stuff I'm coming up with. I guess one of the things he saw was a racehorse. The racehorse named Barack Obama had been euthanized. He says that is probably the biggest prophetic sign that you could have God by saying this man is going to go down. But there was somewhere, I just can't find it, where he basically said it. That I guess these three presidents would get in trouble. I'm assuming that would be Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and maybe Bush Jr. If I had to guess. Certainly wouldn't be Reagan. He's not even around anyways. He's dead. Again, Carter, I doubt that. I seriously doubt it's him as one of them. So, who knows? But I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to chat with you about that a little bit. Take care.